Hi, I'm Desiree Hadley.
And I'm Crystal Rosa.
And welcome to another episode of Hold the Line with Mayor Baraka. Mayor, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good. So today we're going to, of course, have our COVID-19 check-in. We're going to discuss the Newark Public Safety Department's Summer 2021 initiatives, the George Floyd statue, the Harriet Tubman Monument, Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday, and the Back Together Again initiative going on in Newark. So our COVID-19 check-in. So as of June 18th, Newark's test positivity rate on a 3-day rolling average is 1.01%, and our test positivity rate on a 7-day rolling average is at 1.40%. As the leader of Newark, where do we now stand with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, we are still seeing very low numbers, and thank God for that. Prayerfully, it continues to drop. It has had a precipitous drop since a couple of months ago, and we are excited about that. And people are getting vaccinated. So, 59% of Newark resident adults in Newark have had at least one vaccination.
We want to keep people informed with the latest developments. So, can you touch on where we stand with regards to reopening the city?
City Hall is reopened fully. Schools will start back in September. Most of the businesses are going to come back online sometime this summer and fully in the fall. So I would say that by September, the end of September, I would say at least 90% of the functions of the city, from businesses to other things that were happening, will be in full throttle.
And as you did state, 59% of Newark residents have received at least one vaccine, and 47% of Newark residents 18 and older are fully vaccinated.
Right.
So should people still move with a sense of caution in public places? How should they feel about?
Sure. I think people should continue to be cautious. But there's a lot that we still don't know, right? And you need to wear your mask when you feel uncomfortable. I carry my mask with me all of the time. Some people laugh and say, "Oh, you still got your mask?" Yeah, I do. You vaccinated, but I'm carrying my mask because I don't know if you're vaccinated. How about that? So I think it's necessary for us to do that. Still be cautious. And doesn't mean you can't do different things that they're allowing people to do. Just be health conscious in the things that you do.
So moving right along. So this past Tuesday, UN Public Safety Director Brian O'Hara kicked off the Department of Public Safety Summer Initiative 2021 with a community roll call on Clinton Avenue. During roll calls, members of the department receive information regarding the city's public safety agenda, and that's something that's usually done behind closed doors. We have invited residents to come out, share any concerns they may have, interact with members of public safety. What kind of information can residents who attend these roll calls learn that they might not otherwise know?
Well, I think they can learn, various functions of the police department, of fire safety, how code enforcement works. All of those things. They can interact with people. They can give them information. They can get information from them. It gives them an opportunity to talk to the people who service them in the community. And I would come out and do that if I were them. I would come out and engage the officers. If they see fire officials there, engage those folks, engage code enforcement officers. Help them help you.
What are you hoping the residents get out of this?
Well, I hope that they feel safer, that they feel a connection with the public safety department in the city, that it improves our relationship, the public safety with the people in the community, and that ultimately it leads us to a healthier community.
Should residents begin to feel safer with the implementation of these new initiatives?
Yeah, we want them to feel safer. We want the police presence and the presence of everybody to feel safe. So it's not just the police out there. You'll have Office of Violence Prevention, Trauma Recovery. So some residents, some civilians will be out there. Fire officials will be out there. Code enforcement folks is outside. So we want people to feel safer and understand that all of us are responsible for public safety, not just the police. And that's the direction we've been going on in the city. I think ultimately that's the direction the country is going in, that public safety is just not the responsibility of the police department.
So last Wednesday, you received a 700-pound statue of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And it was revealed in front of City Hall. This statue was commissioned by actor, director, filmmaker Leon Pinckney and donated to the city by sculptor Stanley Watts. You've received a number of mixed reviews. Some people are against it, some people are for it. Yeah. Why did you think it was important to have such a statue on display in front of City Hall in Newark?
Well, we only get the statue for a year, right? So we'll have it for a year. The artist, I'm an artist, so I have, sympathy and empathy for artists. Like I thought the sculpture, the statue was amazing, first of all, just in and of itself, no matter who it was, period. I think it took a lot of work to do. And the fact that it's George Floyd is symbolic. And I think that's important. I mean, if somebody was building a statue of Emmett Till, we would take that. And Emmett Till is known because he was lynched, right? There were thousands of African Americans lynched, but Emmett Till is portrayed in the African American Museum, not because he was killed, but because of the response that came after his death, right? So George Floyd is on display not simply because George Floyd was killed by the police, but because of the response that came after the death of George Floyd galvanized the world, the country. Marches, there's all kinds of discussions that are being had now. Reimagining police, abolish police, all kind of bills that are going on, voting rights bills, people running for office, all kind of things are taking place because of that tragic death. And, not because of the death, because of the organizing that took place after the death.
Mayor, how did this come about? Why was the city chosen as the statue's temporary home?
Well, we by the grace of God, we have a lot of connections with artists, with the artist community. With Curtis Farrell, who does the McDonald's All-American Gospel Fest here in the city of Newark annually. He does that here because he loves the city of Newark. People know what's happening in Newark and what's going on in the city and the stuff that we're trying to accomplish. And talking to those people, they say that they know that they would get a welcoming place. We wouldn't turn them away or say something negative, that we would welcome them into our home, and we did. And I'm glad that we did.
So as Desiree mentioned, there has been both positive and negative
Yeah,
feedback
sure.
from folks about the statue, and we're always going to have critics, right, no matter what. But what do you have to say to the people who are making those negative comments about the statue?
Well, I just think they don't understand. So it's two types of people. You got the white supremacists who are calling here, who harassing my secretaries every day, who are telling them we got a criminal on display and he don't deserve a statue and so forth and so on. You got those types from all over the country that are calling. Then you got people here who don't understand. They say, oh, other people died. There's other people. Yes, other people did die. Other people died in the hands of police, and other people have died through violence in our community. But what happened in George Floyd's death, garnered millions of people around the world. And there's something to be said about that. And you'll never know why it happened because of George Floyd and not because of countless other people. Just like you'll never know why, the civil rights movement didn't begin because of the lynching in Omaha as opposed to Emmett Till getting killed in Mississippi, right? But it happened. And so as a result of that, we display that, because it's not about George Floyd, it's bigger than George Floyd.
So last week, you revealed the winning design by Nina Cook John for the Harriet Tubman Monument that will replace the Christopher Columbus statue that was removed from Washington Park last summer. The park and the surrounding area will also be renamed Tubman Square in honor of Harriet Tubman. Can you talk about the process for selecting the winning design and what made Ms. Johnson's design the winner?
Well, Fayemi Shakur, who's in charge of our arts and culture projects and programs that take place here, she put together a panel of people who reviewed all of the designs. They voted on those designs. They had community input on what people thought about the designs. It took almost a month for them to decide, which person to pick. And I think that they picked that one because it's interactive. People can actually go through it, and there's a display of all of the history of the Underground Railroad in New Jersey. So it's not just a statue. You can actually be in the statue. You can, the statue is usable, which is important. And I think it changes the character of that whole downtown community over there. Or when that thing goes up, it's going to be amazing.
So there are people who still feel that the Christopher Columbus statue should have stayed.
Sure.
So why did you feel like it was time for a change in Washington Park? Why did you?
History is moving. The history is in motion. The people who put the ideas that dominated and the people that dominated when Christopher Columbus was decided to be uplifted, that thought that atmosphere, that place is not here anymore. It's a change, it's different. And so all of that is coming down for the new, right? And we've allowed the Christopher Columbus statue to go to other people who wanted it. We gave it to them and allowed them to use it in the way that they see fit. But this point in history, we needed what we're getting, the Harriet Tubman statue. Plus, Harriet Tubman was actually in Newark, right? Christopher Columbus wasn't here. Harriet Tubman stepped foot in this community, freeing slaves. And it highlights the abolitionist movement that took place in New Jersey and in Newark, specifically when New Jersey was one of the last states to officially abolish slavery in America. Underground Railroad in Newark was very, very, very important, was a very, very important stop.
So as mayor, as an educator, as an artist, what kinds of lessons do you hope this monument teaches once it's finally up?
One, that the old gives way to the new. Two, that history is all-encompassing, and that all of our perspectives need to be told. And it gives us the opportunity to see the world and see our lives from the viewpoint of the people who struggle in it, not just from kings and presidents and rulers and conquerors, but from actual people who live day to day trying to make their lives better and fighting for more democracy. That we want to highlight those people, and we don't necessarily want to highlight, kings and presidents and conquerors.
Well, last Thursday, President Joe Biden signed legislation making Juneteenth a federal holiday. The law went into effect immediately. Last Friday was the first Juneteenth holiday here in America. So why do you think this holiday is important for us to celebrate or just acknowledge?
I think it's a great thing. And I know a lot of people are, they feel like that this wasn't enough. I believe it's not enough either, but we can have both. And I don't know why, we allow people to force us into this dichotomous position where we have to pick one or the other, right? I want to celebrate Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth is the celebration of family. That's what Juneteenth is about. When them slaves were told they were free, they went to go search for their family members. That's why this idea of extended family for us is so important, because our family is all over the place. And we've been looking for them since we got here. And we still haven't found all of them, right? They're all over the place, in South America, in Central America, in Brazil, and in the Caribbean islands, in Dominican Republic, in Puerto Rico, in South Carolina, in Mississippi, in Buffalo. We got family all over the place because we've just been scattered. That's what Juneteenth is about, pulling our family together and celebrating that, celebrating our opportunity to be together. Finally, for the first time, we could be together, and it's not against the law.
Mayor, what are some of the ways that we can push forward to attain true progress and make positive changes? Like, do we need reparations? Do we need to teach Black history in schools? Do we need the George Floyd justice and policing bill to pass?
We need all of those things, right? And I think that's the problem that we have, activists and other people. We believe that one cancels out the other. We need it all. We need people to teach not just Black history, people's history in schools, period, right? From that perspective, we need the George Floyd and policing bill. We need reparations for hundreds of years of enslavement and disenfranchisement. We need all of that. And I don't think that we should settle for one thing over the other. Listen, these people don't have enough money to pay us for what we went through in this country. And so we need, the position we in, we need as much as they can give us.
So now the question everyone wants to know, will City Hall be closed next year in recognition of Juneteenth?
What we try to do is, we want to do the teach-in, so I agree we should have the day off, right? And so the dichotomy or the problem that we're wrestling with here is we don't want Juneteenth to be like every other holiday.
Right.
Like people just leave and go to the Juneteenth sale. You just go buy some Juneteenth shoes and a Juneteenth hat, and you get off and go home, and you don't know what the heck Juneteenth is.
Right.
You just learned about it. I mean, there's elected officials that I talk to, they tell me, I just learned about it last year. So, and it's okay, because nobody pushed it, so most people didn't know about it. I grew up learning about Juneteenth, most people didn't. So in my mind, I want people to know what this holiday is about. I want them to know why this is important. And it's more important for us to have a discussion about it and about the issues that make Juneteenth relevant than it is for us to just go have a barbecue.
All right, Mary, that's all we have time for this episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.